Today, at LDF, we continue to litigate a number of cases. We have over 100 on our docket currently still that are under court order to desegregate. And we do look very closely at faculty assignment. And so what I know, based on my experience on the ground, is that even in a district where there are all, Title I districts, all the schools are Title I schools receiving funds, that there is still disparities with respect to the distribution of teachers, and that's problematic. I was in Tennessee yesterday and on Monday in a district, and there were a number of teachers whom I met with, all of whom were certified, all of whom were tenured, and many of them lost their jobs to other folks who were non-tenured and who were not certified. Some of them were asked to teach in areas that they were not certified in. And so when we look at the disparities that we see with respect to student achievement, we wonder why they exist, and I think that we're not looking at all the possibilities about what's going on. With respect to resources, again, I see that where there are Title I districts, the whole district's Title I, that the resources are allocated in ways that are very disproportionate. So whether there's a school that predominantly serves African American students or one that serves predominantly white students, completely different resources. When I look at the capital needs plans that are submitted, not by the teachers, but by the school board or their superintendent to the state for funding, I will see the predominantly white school is requesting $3 million for the year, and the predominantly black school is requesting not even $100,000. When I walk into these schools, the predominantly African American school has teachers pulling me to the side and saying, my kids don't have textbooks, and then I talk to parents and their children are telling them, two of them are sitting in a math class sharing one textbook, when the predominantly white school has a group of textbooks that they can use in the classroom and one that they can keep at home. So we're talking about something that goes much deeper than, can we just fix it, right now? And I think in order to fix it, we have to just understand and recognize. I hear Finland, Singapore, other places. Unless you mention South Africa to me, there's no place that you can compare the history of where we've been and where we are today. So I think we just have to, again, I know I've said it 50 times, but recognize the system and how it was built and why we are where we are today. I'm a former elementary school teacher. I taught in New York City, in Brownsville, Brooklyn, a very poor area, and the school was surrounded by housing projects. And I can tell you, when I first went into school, I felt like I was a social worker a majority of the time, not just a teacher. And it really took me understanding there are issues having to do with healthcare, there are issues having to do with housing, there are issues having to do with childcare. I taught first grade, many of those students were caring for younger siblings. I'm like, you're a baby yourself, And so really trying to understand how to work within that system and not being responsible for just teaching content became part of my job. And I don't know that that's fair, but that's the reality that many of us face. I didn't have any resources, and my school was the best school, one of the best schools in the district. I bought the resources myself.